Good morning, everybody. I hope you're okay. My name is Agnes. I'm the director and founder of MPA Coaching. MPA Coaching is a recruitment and placement agency which helps international students to come to London and carry out unpaid work placement with UK-based companies. We not only operate in the UK, but also we're expanding to take over the world, if, by God's grace. And we operate also in Spain. We've got candidates coming from Italy and from over Belgium and Germany. So today, as I've said, I'm Agnes. I'm a recruitment consultant, if I could say, for international students. And we help them find accommodation in London, but also internship with UK-based companies. And we help to provide everything from the internship to the accommodation to the transfer from the place where they will be coming, like airport or King's Cross, St. Pancras with the Eurostar. And we are really accompanying them and mentoring them during their stay in the UK. So in the frame of hiring interns and really to give an insight to the students that we provide an internship to have an insight of who our companies are, the people that we work with, we have launched since the 20th of February a live program where we meet companies, business owners from every industry and sectors that we work with to give them a bit of an idea of the kind of companies they will be working with, but also the exciting duties and things they will be doing whilst in the UK. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our third guest of our Hire an Intern Live program, who is Mr. Alexander Pemberton.
Hello.
Hello, good
Thank
morning.
you for having me.
You're welcome, you're welcome. Can you quickly introduce yourself, present yourself to our live audience?
Yeah, sure. My name is Alexander Pemberton, and I have a few companies, but the main one we're speaking about today is called Launch 7, and that's really helps people to start businesses. That's all about developing your idea, encouraging people to just go after their dreams and go for their goals and not hold back.
Okay, so can you give us a bit more information about Launch 7? I've heard that it's an accelerator for startups and pre-startups.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, so mainly pre-startups. And it started maybe a few years ago. I was doing a lot of web design.
Okay.
And I've been doing web design for 10 years. So I'd have referrals.
Okay.
And some people would say to me, can you do this website? I have this idea. And I'd ask them sort of business questions, like how are you going to pay for it? Where are you going to make money? Who's your target audience?
Okay.
Some things that I thought were simple, but also questions that I needed the answers to create a website that was right for their target audience. And I found that a lot of people didn't have these ideas because they hadn't thought about it. So I became a startup consultant by accident, sort of giving my opinions when I wasn't asked, until I started being asked for my opinions.
Yes, formally.
So I started doing some research about startups and entrepreneurship and started giving those advice to my clients. And I'd say, okay, you know, before you do this, speak to an accountant, do the maths, find out if it's really viable, do some research and all that kind of stuff as well. Okay. So I think maybe 3 years ago, we did our first event. Okay. Honestly, it didn't go very well because I'm not a very good event planner. Okay. I have great ideas, but I don't have a good events planner. But it's only when I got an events manager to partner with is when it really took off, because the business is very events heavy. Yes. So it's really about, we do workshops, we do some consultations as well, and we do some sort of free live events to get people encouraged and pumped up about starting businesses. About starting their business. Wow. So can you tell me what has been your proudest achievement? Maybe not the first event, but what was your proudest achievements? What's my proudest achievement? Do you know, outside of business, I think my daughter's 2 years old. She's going to be 2.5 soon. Okay. And seeing her grow up, and seeing that she is a result of two people loving each other is amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. To become one. Yeah, absolutely. And then reproduce. So that's amazing to see. In terms of business, I think I'm proud of my development, and the way that I've developed, I'm able to help people.
Yes.
So my name means, Alexander means helper of men or defender of men.
Wow.
And I think I'm living up to that title.
Okay, wow, you are definitely.
Yeah, I'm proud of that.
Yes. Okay, so your name is really attached and goes alongside your ministry, I could say, your calling, your vocation.
Yes.
Wow. And in terms of business owners, small businesses, okay, a little bird a few days ago told me, check on this man, who he is. So I went on YouTube, typed Alexander Pemberton, and I saw a lot of Alexander Pemberton. I said, oh, that's the one. And during that TV interview he had with a TV program called Arise Magazine, with the host was Barbara, I learned a lot about this man. And there was one thing he said on the TV program is, fear not, fear not. Obviously, I've also learned that he was a Christian, born-again Christian, deeply involved in the ministry of sound, engineer, and video. And visuals, visuals, I've done my research. He was quite surprised.
I forgot about that interview.
Yes. So can you talk to us and also to the entrepreneurs who are maybe listening to us about that quote, fear not? Because I read a few years back that in the Bible it says 365 times in the Bible. So like once every day.
Yeah.
Fear not.
What do I need to say?
What would you say to entrepreneurs, people who would like to start their business, but obviously all these fear, challenges, barriers? It could be, I don't know, I'm a single parent. How am I going to cope?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's that internal conversation that we have with ourselves, and quite often we speak badly to ourselves, and we make excuses of why we can't do anything. But the thing is, if you look in the mirror, the things that you say to yourself, if you had a friend who was saying that to you, would you be that? Would you be that friend? And you probably don't. You probably don't say those things to your friend.
Yes.
So the things that you would say to your friends, say that to yourself.
Yes.
You know, so encourage yourself. And I think it's that thing in the Bible is before there was ever a great achievement, there was an angel or something just saying, fear not.
Yes.
And I think, you know, the worst thing that could happen if you decide to start your business is someone saying no. Or the worst thing that could happen, and this is what I've taken on, is that I would die and go to heaven.
Yes, exactly.
So, if that's the absolute worst, I'm okay with it. You know, I'll be in a good place. But I think all the excuses and the reasons that we can't do something is just internal, and we have a lot of self-limiting beliefs, and we're in a society that actually promotes that in some way as well. So it's almost like it's that thing. If you want to start, just go do it.
Yes,
you know, like
just
a baby.
Do it.
A baby just tries to walk and they fall over and they just keep going.
Yes. Okay, so entrepreneurs here and there, please just go for it, because don't let fear trap you and think, no, I can't do it. So in the novel, for something else, I would like to ask Mr. Alexander, if, for example, a student is in France and wants to come to the UK, what would we tell, or would you tell them about entrepreneurs in the UK?
Oh, okay. So I don't think I can compare it, because I've not been to France. And I've not. Have I met any interns? Maybe I have. I think it's the same everywhere. Entrepreneurs from the different walks of life that I've met here in the UK, who are from France, Spain, around the world. The commonality is, if they're working with someone, they want to know that that person is passionate about what they're doing.
Yes.
And honesty is very important. I think if you're going to be working with anyone, those two qualities are important. If you're not passionate about something, you're sort of wasting your time and someone else's time, and that's not fair on yourself or others as well.
And it will also it will pour out on whatever you're doing, even the way you talk to people.
Absolutely. And the second point with honesty is, if you're not passionate about it, but you want to find out more, you want to learn, or you're getting involved for a reason, be honest about that.
Yes.
For me, I'm a great starter. I have lots of ideas. I can start stuff.
Yes.
I'm not really the person to finish a lot of things, you know? And one of my strengths is coming up with ideas, putting a plan together.
Yes.
But
then you need people to execute that plan.
And if you're a great starter, it's important to let the person that you're working know that you're a great starter. If you're a great finisher, if you're great at closing businesses, or if you're growing them, or whatever it is, you let honesty is so important. I think sometimes we have this, I don't know if you have it in French, fake it till you make it.
Oh, okay, oui. Faire semblant. Like, faire semblant. Fake it. It's like, I think it was a say from, was it Richard Branson? If somebody asks you to do something, but you don't know how to do it, just say yes and find out how to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's if you want to, if that's something you're interested in. But the thing is with faking it till you make it is that at some point you will have to do the work. And people will find out that you're faking. Now, faking it till you make it sounds to me like telling lies. And, you know, as a Christian, one of the commandments is do not lie.
Do not lie.
And I think if you're faking it till you're making it, don't lie to yourself that you're here when you're not. Because quite often you miss some key steps to get you to that level where you want to be.
Okay. So faking it till you make it.
Yeah, it's like lying.
It's like, okay, thanks.
But I think that statement's really about being confident and not shying away from what you want to do. So I do get it, but sometimes we take it too far that we think that we're this person that we're not.
That we're not.
Yeah, and then we let down ourselves and let down other people as well.
People, and that's the bad side of things. So if today you were marooned on a desert island, which historical figure would you like to be with and why?
Okay. The first person that came to my mind was Kanye West.
Okay. Really? Oh my God, why?
I don't know. He's not, is he a historical figure? Maybe he will be.
Yeah, he will be. I think he is. He is.
He's just so fascinating.
Okay.
He's a creative. I'm a creative. He's created different things like music and films and clothing and solutions to different problems as well. Okay. And I just find him really, really interesting.
Kanye West?
Yeah, that's just the first thing that came to my mind.
Okay,
yeah, I don't dream about Kanye West and spending days with him.
No.
But that was just the first thing that came to mind. Okay. If I was to be a bit more serious or academic about it, I've not really thought about it, to be honest.
So Kanye West and you, I'm interested in that comparison. Can you go, because I know obviously he's a singer, but also he's a bit controversial because not long ago we were talking about him on the social media about Trump, about some of his talks about slavery and everything. So
well, the thing is as well, is a lot of creative people are often misunderstood, and some people who are really smart are also misunderstood, and quite often if we don't understand them, we just label them as crazy. Right. And I think he has been misunderstood in a lot of ways, but also sometimes with other creatives that I've met, we don't take the time to try to articulate what we really mean in a way that other people would understand. And I think that's it with Kanye West. It just comes out as outbursts. And sometimes it sounds so ridiculous that what we just say is, well, you can't say that. Instead of saying, what do you mean? You know? So, and I think having seen him on the news and all this kind of stuff, it would be good to just ask the question, why did you say President Bush don't like black people? Why did you say that Beyonce had the best album? And why did you do, what brought you to that? I think it's just a bit fascinating. Also, I was watching one of his videos just the other night, I think that's what it is. He's doing a new album with a gospel choir, and it sounds really good. And there's a lot of talk around that as well. So I think maybe that's why that came to mind.
That came to mind.
He's not my hero or anything.
Yes, I don't think. Okay. So now, can you? You were talking about that creative side and aspect and the starting. I think I can relate a bit on that because it's like, God is downloading ideas all the time. I can see something and I'm like, oh, and then I can link it to something different. But I'm not a really good finisher. I am not a really good finisher. But how, as people who are creative, can they, you know, maximize this, but at the same time focus it and not being here and there? One day you're doing clothing, then the next day you're singing, and how can they gather all these?
Do you know what? I think the first thing is identifying what you're good at and what you're not good at. So, you know, like a SWOT analysis example. We know what a SWOT analysis is, and we use it in business a lot in our work departments, but sometimes we don't do it on ourselves. And that's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And if you think about what you're good at, you know you're a good starter, and you also know that you're not good at finishing, and maybe you start many things. So that just means you need a team. You know, if you have some genius inside of you and there's some young person who wants to learn about something, give them the opportunity. Like we have, as entrepreneurs, a really brilliant opportunity to provide opportunities to other people. You know, we're hearing a lot about young people not having opportunities, young people from different backgrounds not getting into jobs and all kind of stuff. Create it for them. You know, so your 7 ideas that you have or 10 ideas that you have in one go, sometimes if we just sit back and think about how am I going to make this idea work and who do I need to make it work, you've got a team, especially with interns. Interns are hungry to learn.
They are.
I took on an event coordinator intern, and she was really hungry to learn. Part of the conversation was, I'm not going to take advantage of her. It's really about her learning what she wants, but I'm going to get something back as well. It's a win-win. It's 50-50. You know, and I think that's really important. If you have 100 ideas, find some people who can help you to make it a reality.
Exactly. So now, talking about the interns, as you said, as if you have this kind of entrepreneurs, you've got these ideas, interns are just the best way. First, obviously, you don't pay, but the rewards that you and them will get is just invaluable. May I see my own business, the way they have, launched MPA coaching to another level is just amazing. And can you just share a bit of your experience with this event coordinator intern?
Yeah, I mean, she was keen. She really wanted to learn about business and that kind of stuff, and I just tried to give as much as possible. It's one of those things. I've met other entrepreneurs who have had interns, and they're sort of like, oh, it doesn't work for me. And my first question is usually, did you ask them what they wanted?
Exactly.
You know, because quite often we say we want someone to do social media, but that person wants to learn about marketing. And you're not teaching them about marketing. They're just creating posts. And while that's important, what they're doing, and it's a great opportunity, if they're not feeling fulfilled, if they're not feeling like they're making progress, then it's likely that they're going to lose passion. You know? And sometimes it's easy to say, oh, you're not as good as you were in that first week, or to think that way. But I think turn it back on us. We need to be thinking, what can we do to help this person? I think a lot of people take on interns because it's free, but we need to, I think it's important to think, if I was to nurture this person to be an employee with me, what would I do? And I think the conversation and the attitude towards each other would be a little bit different.
Exactly. Wow. Wow. I'm just amazed.
Did I just answer that question? I don't know. I think
yes. Okay. You very well answered it. Because even I see, for example, with my students, and the one that is at the moment taking a lot of pictures and photos, Cindy, she's been with me now. That's her 2nd week. And I can really thank God for her life, because she has been a jewel. She has been a pearl. Not only she does posting, marketing, but she goes beyond, because I think I've given her the opportunity to just open up and be who she is, really. And by doing that, it creates that passion in her and also in me, in seeing my face everywhere now, and I'm like, okay, and doing things that I'm not good on Snapchat. Snapchat, even it's my students who actually taught me how to do a these audio. Yes, they told me, okay, you press and then it will become. So it's just fascinating the way they teach you the new technology.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, you also teach them so many things that when they go. I remember one of them, I told him, okay, you're going to an event. It was a breakfast. And he's like, oh, are you coming with me? I said, no, you will be going by yourself. He was so stressed. I think he arrived, I think, maybe 30 minutes earlier or something. He was so stressed. But when he came back to the office, he was like, oh, Agnes, thank you so much. I've been able to talk to people, exchange with them. And he gave me, and I saw the change. Even the way he was dressing, he becomes, because I told him, you need to dress well because you're representing the company. So don't just go anyhow. Nice trousers. And then he just continued. I was, okay, it was just for the breakfast. But you could see the change in their lives, in their personality. Yeah.
You know, I think an important question is, for everyone, is that question of whether or not we're having an impact.
Yes.
Are you having an impact? And is it a positive impact in someone's life? You know, I think that's super important. It's easy for us to say, I need someone to do this, and not care as long as they get it done.
Yes.
But you know, so with this intern, for example, there was stuff that I could have done better, and I said, you know, I don't have all the answers. Sometimes we feel like we need to have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I don't know the best way to do stuff. First of all, I'm like 10 years older than she is, and she's in my target audience, so it would make sense for me to listen to her.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, I would be my target audience too, but for the younger side of my target audience, it makes sense to listen to her.
Yes, and really that part of listening. I know that sometimes Cindy, here present, would tell me, Agnes, you're not listening to me, because my mind is so onto so many things. So she would ask me something and I'm like, okay, no. I would sit everything, leave everything, and I said, okay, yes. And I look at her and I will actually understand what she wants and then answer appropriately. And I've got that bad tendency of starting a sentence and not finishing it. And she's like, yes. You can see the smile on her face. So now, if you were the Prime Minister, aka Mrs. Theresa May, or the French President, aka Monsieur Emmanuel Macron, what would you change in the education system or in the entrepreneurial or economic side of things in the area we're in at the moment?
That's a big question.
I know.
I've never imagined being Prime Minister. I don't think I want to be, or President.
You said your name was Alexander, you know, so you need to live up to your name.
So here's the thing, right?
Yes.
When you look at politics,
yes,
as a whole and a big picture, you sort of realize that the politicians don't really have that much power.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they're supposed to be representative of the people, of the country, and I'm going to sound a bit controversial here, but quite often they're not.
Yes.
They often represent big businesses. You know, so I suppose if I were Prime Minister or the leader of some country, it would be I would try to do something where everyone has a voice. And we're not doing stuff because the big companies have sponsored my campaign, or you know, we see this all the time. So that kind of stuff, I think, I'll do something different. Education wise, financial education in schools is super important.
Yes, very important.
You know, we do a lot of algebra and that kind of stuff, but nothing about how to be a good saver or how to make money or how to invest and that kind of stuff. And I know it's taught at some schools, but in public schools in general, it isn't.
Yes. You know what? It's funny you're saying that, but since yesterday, I've started to attend a seminar to invest. And I've learned so much about index funds, about how to say what are the 4 traits of a good investor.
Yeah.
You know, how to know money, to value money, to save money, to invest money. I mean, I'm learning a lot. And us as African people, sometimes we are just consumers.
Absolutely.
We are just consumers.
Absolutely.
And it's so sad.
Yeah. And you know, the thing is, so as one of the things that I do as well is I help people to start trading Forex. Forex trading. I've been doing it for about 4 or 5 years on and off. And it's that thing where we spend a lot of money going to university.
Yes.
Young people these days are coming out of university at 21 with like £40,000 of debt. It's ridiculous.
Yes.
How long is it going to take for them to pay that off? And then 5 years later, they might want to get a house, so more debt. And then they want to get married, so then it's more debt. You know. And then you have children, and then you take a car out on finance, and it's just like debt. And it's like, you know, if we have that education of saying, actually, when you're spending, you need to have more coming in than what's going out. That's really
and generate
important.
income, other streams of income.
And it's that thing about passive income as well. And I think, to be honest, there are a lot of people who are doing quite well who are selfish. And you know, for you to be in the top 1%, you need to have a lot of money coming to you. And if other people know how to make money the way you do it, then the money goes from their bank account to someone else's. So I do understand that on the grand scheme of things, but I think you know, we just need to find ways to educate ourselves. And we need to find ways to better ourselves as well.
To better ourselves and come out of this always consuming.
Yeah. Do you know, I had a conversation this morning. I'm getting comfortable now. I had a conversation this morning with a friend of mine in West Africa. When I went to West Africa, I made some friends, and he was saying, you know, the government needs to help us more. And I said, maybe, yes. I said, if the government has a scheme, then, you know, take advantage of it, use it, go ahead. But if they don't, go create something for yourself and then go back to the government and say, you need what I can offer. I think it's quite easy for us to say, I want. But we need to start off, look at what we can give, what example are we setting to the younger generation. You know?
It's true. Because a lot of them, they just want this government funding, but you can create something out of your talents, maybe even the network of people you're working with.
We had a client once who wanted to, what was she doing? She wanted to make an app. And it was just an idea at the time. And she said, you know, I'm looking for funding. And I said, okay, how much do you need? She gave a high number. And I said, if I was investing in your business, I would need to know that it's working. So go prove that that someone wants it. Have you done the research to say this is what's needed? Is there demand for this product? I don't think it was a fashion app or something. But we have this thing where we need funding and we need someone to give us money. But actually, you can do something every 3 months, for example, have a promotion of some sort. If you're a photographer and you want to get a new camera, you know, maybe do some cheap portraits. So if your portraits are usually £100, do them for £50. And maybe you'll get double the amount of people coming in, and then they'll spread the word, and you can raise capital without having to borrow money.
Raise capital.
Because I tell you what, when you do make the money for yourself, you respect it more. You know, I didn't respect my student loan.
I remember that one. You just put the card somewhere. And you didn't even use the camera, you said.
That story, that was at college. And Barclays came to my college. I was 18 years old. And they set up a little stand, and they were encouraging us to get credit cards. And my friend got a popcorn maker, and I got a camera. It wasn't a very good camera. I didn't use it. Absolutely. It was the days when you had to put film in and stuff as well. So I didn't really use it. What did I get? What did I get out of signing up because I wanted to get the camera, a credit card, and debt? I was not responsible at all. I wasn't responsible. I was 18.
And people don't know. And this is just like a vicious circle. They're training us from young age to be consumers, just consumers, but not thinking, okay, the last Apple came out, people were just lining up outside. But then, do you imagine now all this money that people will put, like £800, thousands of pounds, shares. People are actually getting on shares, and we don't click on that.
Yeah.
Jordan's, Nike, blah blah.
Absolutely.
We come out with showing up, blah blah.
Yeah.
But it's just you're putting money in somebody else's pocket.
Absolutely.
And emptying yours.
Yeah. That's right.
And we need to do something. That's one of our mission. That would be our mission.
Yes.
It's weird because when I wrote your name, during the conversation with Alex and Agnes, it felt like we were going to do something together.
Okay.
Really.
Okay.
I felt it's like Agnes and Alex, something like that.
Agnes and Alex show.
Exactly. So really, I don't know, do you want to say something to our audience, or either the entrepreneurs who want to start, or any students, for example? Would you like to say a word to them before we close?
Students, if you're thinking of going to university, make sure you're going for a good reason.
Okay.
There are lots of students who live in London or in Paris who will go to university outside of their hometown.
Okay.
And that's just going to increase your debt.
Yes.
If you have the £40,000, then fantastic. But if you don't and you're taking a loan out, actually, two things I wish I did when I was at university. And one is spend more time with people who weren't on my course.
Okay.
People who weren't on my module, spend more time with them. I studied computer science. Most of my friends were from computer science. What happens is that when you leave, especially if you're thinking of starting a business, you're going to need some legal advice.
Okay.
Maybe when you have a big team, you might need a lawyer that you can trust.
Yes.
And you've got a friend that you can trust. You might need an accountant, someone in finance, economics, marketing. So make friends with people from different courses.
Okay.
You might be able to impact their lives, and they might be able to impact yours.
Okay.
The other thing I wish I did was to take some of that money that the maintenance loan it was, and invest it. So I bought an Apple Mac in 2006, 2007.
Okay.
And back then the stock was really low. And I was watching Bloomberg and I was interested in stocks and shares and that kind of stuff. So I opened a demo account and just playing with fake money. And it was really interesting because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yes.
But I forgot about this account, and 2 years later, the stock had, I don't know, doubled or whatever it was, because Apple was becoming more popular. The iPhone had come out.
Yes.
And I was like, if I had actually put some of that money in, but by then I had no money because I wasn't being careful.
Yes.
So if you're taking out a loan, it doesn't, like, you can invest with a small amount these days, you know. Just imagine if you had invested in Amazon when it started.
Yes.
Okay. If you had invested in Tesla when it started.
Yeah.
You know, you would be laughing right now.
Yes. Or even IKEA. I love IKEA. Oh God.
And the thing is, there's so many young companies that are coming up now that you can invest £100 in.
Yes.
£100 worth of stocks and shares, and you'll see the benefits in 10 years. And that could start your portfolio.
Yes.
I mean, look at Warren Buffett. You know, he started with such a small amount. But if you have that compound interest and, you know, you build and build and you add to it and you get more stocks, you know, you can go from wearing Nikes and Air Jordans to flying around the world.
Yes, exactly.
You know, you have a different sort of lifestyle.
Lifestyle, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so that's really your encouragement and push towards. We'll be editing that part and just send it to all the UK students around.
Right.
And apart from that, to the entrepreneurs.
To the entrepreneurs, just remember that you are actually able to provide opportunities and have an impact on people's lives.
Yes.
And let's not be so selfish.
Yes.
I think it needs to be selfish. I want to fly in a private jet. But also, you know, entrepreneurs, we usually solve problems.
Yes.
You know, and there's so many problems to be solved just by us speaking about our journeys, and so many problems can be solved just by us inspiring other people. So I would say, you know, seek to inspire others and seek to have an impact.
Thank you very much. Wow. Very inspiring interview Mr. Pemberton with Mr. Pemberton today. So really, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, Ellen, Loris, and Mr. Compari. Patrick, hey, how are you? Long time. That was one of our students also. He took some English lessons, actually in 2 different schools. And I'm actually wondering where he is now. He's in Burkina Faso, maybe. Yes. Yeah, around the world. And Loris is also one of our companies who hire interns. And Helen is my sister.
Okay.
Yes. So really, thank you very much and Cindy, thank you very much for attending today's interview. It will be downloaded onto our YouTube page. So please also subscribe onto our YouTube page, mpacoaching.com. No, MPA Coaching just. The website is www.mpacoaching.com. So thank you very much. That was Agnes from MPA Coaching and Mr. Alex Pemberton from Launch 7. Yes. Thank you, and we hope to see you soon for our next live video with MPA. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.